Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 4th of October, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Monday Night Raw and night 2 of the WWE Draft. Now, the draft technically isn't over. They got still more names to announce on Raw Talk. They did just announce Liv Morgan will be moving over to Monday Night Raw. I've got Raw Talk my third screen over here. So if I kind of veer over this way, it's because they're saying something on Raw Talk that may be pertinent to the draft. So if we get any of those, just announced, I'll try to keep my eye out and let you guys know throughout this stream as we talk about the draft. And other than the main event, nothing happened in Monday Night Raw, to be 100% completely honest. I literally just said that, Gabriel. Literally just said Liv Morgan was drafted to Raw on Raw Talk. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, if you're watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out, by subscribing to the channel. One of two different ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription, just like Broken King Slender recently did for 15 months. Gotta love it. Or if you say, I don't got the actual money, but I've got Amazon Prime, there you go. You link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Bada bing, bada boom. You got Prime Gaming account. Prime Gaming account gives you a free game almost every month. Not every, but almost. Free in-game purchases like DLC, and certain games will give you... What do I have something on my face? This looks weird. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. There looked like there was something that's going to bug me. Anyways, it gives you free stuff for games, but it always gives you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to us right here, PW Unlimited. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there as well. Help us out in the live chat with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Also, remember, guys, you can help us out, by subscribing to the channel, joining the Unlimited Army by hitting that join button down below, and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, early access to non-news videos, and so much more. But we've got Monday Night Raw to talk about. I thought the show wasn't all that great, to be completely honest. I thought it was just all right. It was all right. It wasn't great or anything, but good main event. I'll say that. Good main event. And I usually do the good match with the shitty DQ finish, but I'm going to talk about why I think that DQ finish was actually not a bad idea. Also, Dan the Man. NASCAR race was good, other than basically they only got to run half of it. That's what sucked. It rained in Alabama. They couldn't get the track dry before it was too dark, and they had to call the race with 71 laps to go. But with that, Monday Night Raw did kick off with Jimmy Smith reiterating that the draft does not actually go into effect until after Crown Jewel. Hold on. We may have a draft pick here announced. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna pause this. Hold on. We got some draft picks announced. We're gonna switch screens. Hold on. They're announcing stuff on Raw Talk. Why am I not seeing the proper screen? There we go. Announced on Raw Talk. Coming to Monday Night Raw. We've got the Dirty Dogs moving over. Staying on Raw, Dana Brooke. Jackson Riker staying on Raw. Interesting. Veer by himself. Liv Morgan staying on Monday Night Raw, or coming to Monday Night Raw. Mia Yim moving over to Monday Night Raw, because technically she was moved to SmackDown, and yeah. Tamina to Raw, not Nia, just Tamina. That's an interesting one. Tegan Nox to Raw by herself. That's another interesting one. Miz is staying on Monday Night Raw. I believe this is the first time in the draft ever that the Miz was not drafted. And also, Ashwin, yo ass gone. And we've got Cedric and Shelton, not Street Profits, the Hurt Business staying on Raw. Let's see, did they announce the SmackDown ones as well? Let's fast forward a little bit. That's it. Wow. That's it for Raw. It's Shotzi, Natty, Jinder, Shanky. That's it for Monday Night Raw. Very, very interesting. So we'll see if any more, I guess you could say, names get announced. I don't think so. And that means, Dakota Kai, who's been doing dark matches for Raw and SmackDown, now not drafted. Let's switch off of this. Well, let's play this and see if maybe they say anything else. But that's very interesting. They've broken up Tamina and Natty. They've broken up Shotzi and Nox. They've broken Veer off of Jinder and Shanky. That's a very interesting one. That's a very interesting one to me. Keeping Veer by himself, but Jinder and Shanky. Because keeping Veer on Raw, Jinder and Shanky over to SmackDown. That's a very, very interesting one to me. Let's fix this screen. All right. But that's a very, very interesting one to me. So, with that, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, because they announced that just now. We haven't even started talking about Raw yet, so let's talk about Raw. So, like I said, the show opened up and Jimmy Smith reiterated that draft is not going to affect until after the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And then out would come SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Becky came out and just said, I've been drafted to Raw, everybody. And then the WWE Twitter account tweets out, breaking news. SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch has been drafted to Monday Night Raw. Fucking Corey Graves goes, just remember, guys, it hasn't been made official yet. Just because Becky says it doesn't mean it's official. And I'm like, no, it's official. Check your Twitter. Just saying. Anyways. Actually, I could probably close Raw Talk is over. I can close that, so I'm not looking over there. Becky's talking crap and everything. She's like, I don't want to spoil the draft, but I'm going to anyway. She acknowledged that she's still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now she's coming over to Raw. She's the longest Raw Women's Champion in history because she never lost the belt. And maybe she can get it back and be Becky 2 belts. Charlotte Flair would then interrupt. She was greeted with Becky 2 belt chants. She said Lynch used to be Becky pre-show until she made Becky famous. She said that they had unfinished business and out would come Bianca Belair. Bianca would make her way out. She thought that they both seemed threatened because, well, they like to take cheap shots at her. Charlotte cheap shotted her last week, and technically Becky has cheap shotted her many times since SummerSlam. Belair said that now she's on Monday Night Raw and she's the EST of Monday Night Raw. Charlotte told her to Shh. Belair told her to not disrespect her, and the crowd chanted, Charlotte sucks, Charlotte sucks, Charlotte sucks. Interesting tweet by Dakota Kai that I just got sent to me. So Bayley sent out a tweet. Says, free agent, hashtag WWE draft. Dakota Kai then quote tweets and says, new stable, the quote, free agents? So maybe she was expecting to get drafted and didn't? That's an interesting one. That's a very, very interesting one. That maybe Dakota Kai was thinking she was going to get drafted and she didn't. So going forward, the Charlotte suck chance, Belair told Charlotte that she doesn't even go here anymore. I've never liked that line. I thought that line was so stupid. You don't even go here. Like what? What is this, high school? This high school when like the rival high school comes to mock you guys before the big football game or basketball game or something. Trust me, we've had it happen to us. We were playing the rival school for basketball, and they showed up the day before the game because it was a home game for us. They showed up the day before the game at the end of school. I guess they left school early. I don't know. But they started coming to us talking crap as we were all getting out of class, like the last period, the last bell or whatever. And we're like, what the hell are you guys doing here? Game ain't till tomorrow. You don't go to this school. Yeah. This ain't high school, Bianca. This ain't high school. Charlotte put over Belair's accomplishments, though, and said that she hasn't reached her level yet. She should be thanking Charlotte for paving the way and allowing everything that Bianca has done to actually happen. Kind of what Becky said, too, that you wouldn't be able to do what you've done if it wasn't for what I did first. So that's kind of the same thing Becky told Bianca as well. So Lynch tried egging on Belair to fight Charlotte. Lynch didn't have to beat Charlotte because she's done it many, many times already, she said. Lynch wondered what would happen if Bianca and Charlotte fought for the first time. Charlotte wasn't interested in a charity match, as she called it. Belair got in her face, and Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville came out. Deville then announced, you know what, tonight, our main event, it's going to be Charlotte versus Bianca. And I thought, okay, that could be pretty good. Pearce would also announce that the Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line when Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash defend against Italia and Tamina. Sonya Deville will then say, and next, the United States Championship will be on the line when Damian Priest defends against Jeff Hardy. So with all that announced, it's time for the first round of the draft. The first round of night 2. Monday Night Raw gets the first pick since we're on Monday Night Raw, and they pick SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. SmackDown's first pick, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Jimmy and Jey Uso, and I go, oh, that's it? The whole thing on SmackDown where Roman is pissed, teasing that the Usos are going to go to Raw, and Heyman better do something to make this right, and then it's just, they're the first pick. Very, very anticlimactic. The Usos were shown celebrating in the back. Paul Heyman was in the background and appeared to be thanking the gods for the good news. Raw would take their second pick as Bobby Lashley, or SmackDown would take Sasha Banks. Next up, in a 7-minute match, the U.S. title was on the line when Jeff Hardy, who will be moving to SmackDown, challenged Damian Priest. Why is my Alexa going off? Alexa, stop. I didn't even say it. Why the heck did it start going off? I don't know. Priest hit a dive really early, about a minute or two into this match, and it led to a commercial break. Hardy hit a whisper in the wind back from the break for a near fall. They traded counters until Hardy hit a twist of fate and a swanton bomb for a near fall. Priest immediately countered into a crucifix pin for the win. It was a 7-minute match and nothing of note happened in this match. Like, it's Jeff Hardy and Damian Priest. This should have been a really, really good match, but I was bored. It was a nothing happening 7 match. And like half of it, if not more than half, took place during a commercial break. Afterwards, Sarah Schreiber asked Jeff Hardy, you've been drafted to SmackDown. What's next for you? Hardy says he loves the crowd. He loves being here on Monday Night Raw, but maybe going to SmackDown is good for him. Going to SmackDown might provide the opportunity to see a new Jeff Hardy. Maybe a certain ego could show up on SmackDown. Willow? Itchweed? Who knows? Brother Nero? I mean, you can't do Brother Nero without Broken Matt, though, so I don't know. Austin Theory would then interrupt. This was just weird as fuck. Austin Theory would interrupt. And he's running down with his cell phone and everything, and he's like, Jeff Hardy, I grew up watching you. I've been drafted to Monday Night Raw, and can I just get a selfie? Can I just get a selfie? And Hardy was like, sure, I'll play along. Let's take the picture. And as Theory goes to take the picture, he attacks Jeff Hardy. He lays him out. Jeff's lying on the ground. He then takes the picture from the ground, and there you go. Kevin Patrick was in the back with Randy Orton and Riddle. Since Saturday says, Tim, he's already Brother Nero. No. Brother Nero is different than just Jeff Hardy. Brother Nero's got the white contacts in, and he wears all dark. And no, Brother Nero is the broken version of Jeff Hardy. Two separate characters, my brother. Two separate characters. Anyways, Orton and Riddle. Kevin Patrick asked them about defending their tag team titles at Crown Jewel against Omos and AJ. Riddle was just happy to see Randy this week because Randy wasn't here last week, and he starts rambling on about Randy not being here and Randy being here now and this and that. And you can see the more Riddle keeps rambling, the more Orton's getting pissed. And finally, Orton just goes, hey, we're ready for AJ and Omos. But before that, I got a proposition for tonight. Big man, Omos, why don't you take me on? First time, 1-on-1. And Riddle's sitting back like, what? So we got second round of the draft. And they just start giving everybody weird-ass fucking nicknames from here on out. I don't remember what they called Seth Rollins, but like the Vicarious Drip King. Because, well, Seth Rollins has been drafted by Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown has taken the Intercontinental Champion, Nakamura, and along with Nakamura, you get Rick Boogs. Raw has taken the United States Champion, Damian Priest, and this is something that we actually exclusively reported earlier in the day that Damian Priest will be drafted to Monday Night Raw. Well, not so. My report was that it is a very good chance that Damian Priest is drafted to Monday Night Raw because the USA Network and NBC Universal requested that they get to keep Damian Priest on the USA Network. Because how weird would it be if they just started advertising Hispanic Heritage Month? Damian Priest is in the video, and then he's not even on one of their networks. That would be very, very weird. But as we reported earlier, looked like a good chance he's staying on Raw. Especially because of the request by NBC Universal, and, well, he stayed on Raw. There he is. Cincinnati says the visionary of drip for Seth Rollins. And finally, SmackDown is taking Sheamus. Fast forward. Cesaro staying on SmackDown. The Bar? We are the Bar. Maybe the Bar getting back together. Maybe they do something. Here's an idea. McIntyre's already drafted to SmackDown. McIntyre and the Bar against the Bloodline. Then the Bar goes for the SmackDown tag titles. Drew goes for the Universal title. Let's do it. Let's do it. You turn Sheamus babyface and you got it right there. The Bloodline against McIntyre and the Bar. Give it to me now. Shayna Baszler took on Dana Brooke, beat her ass in a minute and a half. Graves commented about Dana Brooke just being glad to have an opportunity on the show. Maybe this isn't a smart move. Taking on Shayna Baszler, accepting a match with Shayna Baszler with how ruthless and just wild she has been over the last couple of weeks. But Graves commented about Dana Brooke. He was glad to see her and glad for her to develop, but didn't think that this match was a good idea, like I stated. Baszler won very quick, like I said, minute and a half, if that. Tapped her out the careful clutch. Baszler was going to go and crunch her arm on the steps when out would come Dewdrop. Very weird. Very weird. Yes, Mr. Bangs You, I said, give me Drew McIntyre in the bar as a babyface unit against the Bloodline. Anyways, Dewdrop would come out and have a stare down with Baszler. Dewdrop then decided to check on Dana Brooke. Baszler went to hit her from behind, and Dewdrop just unfazed, no-sold it. Dewdrop waited for Baszler to maybe make another move, and she never did. Well, the two were on separate brands. Shayna got drafted to Raw, spoiler, or SmackDown. Dewdrop staying on Raw. Kevin Patrick interviewed Heyman and the Usos. He wondered if Heyman had some influence in what we saw tonight with the Usos remaining on SmackDown. Heyman said, well, of course, after saying Kevin Patrick was prettier than Caleb Braxton. Patrick wondered if his influence was also how Brock Lesnar was able to remain a free agent. The Usos were not happy with that question. Heyman was just like diverting the question, basically. They let us know that tomorrow the Undertaker New Day movie comes out on Netflix. I think I'm going to do a watch along as well on Twitch, not on YouTube, because that ain't going to work. I'm not going to show it. We're going to do something with this movie. I'll let you guys know. Maybe more details to come, but we're going to do something on the channel with this movie. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. So next up, we had Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza against the team of Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. Garza pinned Ali after Carrillo slammed Ali's head against the ring post as Garza distracted the referee. Carrillo also prevented Mansoor from breaking up a cover. And yeah, that was it. Match in 1 minute and 44 seconds, and it was a nothing match. Yes, Daniel, you were right. Tomorrow's also the launch of Windows 11. But if you're in the Insider program, the Windows Insider program, like this guy, you already got Windows 11. Anyways. Garza pinned Ali, like I stated, after Carrillo slammed Ali's head against the ring post. Back to the referee, blah, blah, blah. It was a nothing match. This was a god-awful nothing match. I'm not saying that the match was bad, but we couldn't even tell if it was good or bad because it went 1 minute and 45 freaking seconds. When they get more drafts. Round 3, I mean. First off, Raw picked AJ Styles and Omos. SmackDown will be taking Shayna Baszler. Kevin Owens going to Monday Night Raw. And from NXT, Xia Li. Yeah, Xia Li. Going to SmackDown. Out will come Big E, and this shit dragged on for fucking ever. God, was this so long and boring. This is a long segment that led to Big E and Drew McIntyre challenging Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode to a tag team match, and then Big E saying, you know what, big guy, you want to face me for the title at Crown Jewel? You're on. Like, do I need to recap the whole thing? Because, So Big E comes out. He says he was happy to be in Nashville. We're going to give you the cliff notes of this because I ain't going through all of it because it was not good. Says, he's happy to be in Nashville. Not happy that he split up again from Kofi and Xavier, but it's what happens in the draft, whatever. Additionally, Said he had to take on Bobby Lashley, but took him down. McIntyre would enter and say, Nashville, it's a Drew day. Yes, it is. And I go, oh, fuck. You're trying. You're trying. McIntyre said that he was screwed out of the WWE Championship by Lashley and MVP, and he was waiting for a hero to free Lashley of the title so he could challenge for the belt again, and that hero is Big E. McIntyre noted that Big E did cash in on an injured Lashley, but, well, he was kind of injured before he was cashed in on as well, and this and that. And he's like, you know what? I can't wait any longer. I want to challenge you for the belt. And out would come Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Ziggler would come out and say, I'm happy for Big E, but if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. I made you. I gave you the opportunity in the WWE. Remember when you were with me back in the day? It's like, and Drew, you made your big triumphant return to WWE, and then I helped rise you to the top. And, you know, they showed footage of Big E and Ziggler from 2018. None with AJ Lee. They showed footage of Ziggler with Drew McIntyre from 2018 and this and that. And, yeah, Rude then noted how great his physique was and said people call him Big Bob. Big E said, yeah, nobody does that. Not one single person calls you that. They then finally challenged for the title, not title, no titles here. Challenged to a tag team match. Ziggler again asked for a thank you for making both of their careers. Big E then said, you know what? I ain't give you a thank you. I'll give you an ass whooping. Big E. And then he looks at Drew and says, and Big D. This match went 10 minutes. And it was all right. I mean, again, it was just a nothing special match. Nothing really that special happened in this match. So, Ziggler super kicked McIntyre on the outside, which sent us to our first break about 90 seconds in. McIntyre headbutted Rude and made the hot tag to Big E when we came back from the break, who gave Ziggler an overhead suplex and a splash in an STO, but Rude broke up the cover. Ziggler at one time tried to catch Big E off guard, but Big E hit a clothesline and set up for the big ending. McIntyre tagged himself in and wiped out Ziggler with a Claymore, the pinfall victory. In a 10-minute match where not much even happened. Big E was slightly perturbed by McIntyre's blind tag there at the end, but was happy that he won. He also gave Rude a big ending, and he was able to attack McIntyre from behind, but didn't, then offered him a title shot at the pay-per-view. That's not what I said, Chase. I said they showed footage of Dolph and Big E from 2013 and then talked about Dolph being with Drew from 2018. So, yeah, not what I said. Can't correct somebody when you're miscorrecting them. Like I said, they showed footage of Dolph and Drew or Dolph and Big E from 2013 without any AJ Lee. And then they talked about Dolph and Drew being together in 2018. That is what I said. Going forward, Reginald approached Adam Pearce in the back saying, hey, Adam, you said I heard you wanted to speak to me about the draft. And he's like, oh, nope, you got some miscommunication there because no, I don't. And Pearce said that it's supposed to be a trap. All of a sudden, the Viking Raiders were there. They blocked him. Truth grabbed him, and then he ran away. He then bumped into Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. And basically, Apollo Crews is like, Commander, my commander. This will be a great place for us to reign. Monday Night Raw. I'm like, okay. It's something new. Hopefully they don't put Apollo Crews in the 24/7 title stuff because he should be going for that U.S. title. I think Damian Priest versus Apollo Crews would be a really good match. Really good match. Kevin Owens would then come out, and this was just some utter garbage. Crowd cheered for Owens. Before he could speak, out would come Akira Tozawa. Tozawa would make his way out to the ring and grab the mic straight out of Owens' hand. Owens looked baffled and not happy to be doing this fucking segment. He looked like he would have rather been anywhere else but in this fucking ring. Tozawa then welcomed him to Monday Night Raw and then said, but I don't want to fight you. I want to fight Reggie for the 24/7 title. And Owens was like, fuck you doing out here? Turns him around, gives him a stunner, and leaves him laying. We then get more draft picks. Round 4. Monday Night Raw is taking the Street Profits. Smackdown, tag team for tag team, the Viking Raiders. Monday Night Raw, taking the former Universal Champion, Finn Balor. And finally, SmackDown is taking the one and only Ricochet. And am I the only one that was shocked that Ricochet was actually drafted on television? Was I the only one shocked about that? That they actually announced the Ricochet draft on television? Hopefully that's a sign of things to come in a good way. They also let us know that the King of the Ring tournament and the Queen's Crown tournament do begin this Friday. Continue next week on Monday Night Raw, as we announced a while ago. It will take place starting this week, the week after the draft. Next up, we had a 4-minute match. It was Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Italia and Tamina. Again, a nothing happening match. I'll read you exactly what I wrote. Ripley had Natalia beat with a Northern Light suplex, but Tamina broke up the cover. Nikki wiped out both opponents with a flying crossbody on the outside. Ripley gave Tamina a riptide and tagged in Nikki. Ripley put Nikki on her shoulders. Nikki did a splash, pinned Tamina, retained the titles. That's all that happened. 4-minute nothing title match. More drafts. Round 5 of 6. We had 6 rounds altogether. Monday Night Raw taking Karrion Kross. SmackDown is taking the team of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. Monday Night Raw is taking Alexa Bliss. And when they announced that, it actually popped. The crowd actually popped for when they said Monday Night Raw is taking Alexa Bliss. I didn't hear a pop for any other goddamn draft picks at all. These people still love Alexa. And finally, SmackDown is keeping Cesaro. Again, like I said, you got Cesaro and Sheamus both on SmackDown. Give us the bar. I know they teased Sheamus wanting to go for the IC title because it's the only title he hasn't won to be a Grand Slam champion. But I think it'd be really cool if you do the Bar going for the SmackDown tag titles, Drew going for the Universal title. This could all be leading into WrestleMania next year. Drew and the Bar, as the baby faces, up against the Bloodline going into Mania next year. Then we got the Goldberg segment. I go, oh, fuck, Goldberg's actually there. I thought Goldberg was going to be via satellite. Daniel, NXT Halloween Havoc has not been announced. I don't know why people keep trying to tell me that that's a thing. There has been no announcement of NXT Halloween Havoc. I'm going to look at this up again. NXT Halloween Havoc 2021. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's not been announced. I don't know where you guys are getting this, because I haven't heard it. I haven't heard anything about no Halloween Havoc 2021. They could do it, but not that I've heard. I haven't heard of any special episodes of NXT. You know, you got NXT 2.0. It's going to be that. I haven't heard of any like special episodes within NXT 2.0. So we'll see. Maybe they do it, but they would have announced it by now. If they're going to do a Halloween Havoc in October, they would have announced it by now because they've only got, well, I mean, they could announce it tomorrow. Because if, say, they do it October 26th, the last Tuesday of the month, like if they're going to do a Halloween Havoc, they need to announce it tomorrow. If not, then there's no need. Goldberg came out, said he wasn't buying Lashley's excuse on why he attacked Gage. He knew Lashley's actions were intentional. He invited Lashley to the ring, and out would come Bobby Lashley. Lashley said what happened at SummerSlam was a misunderstanding, and Goldberg was out of his mind if he thought that he would risk ruining his custom-made suit to whip Goldberg's ass again tonight. Lashley then said that he wanted Goldberg to apologize to him for the slander and attacking his character, basically defamation. Lashley knew that Goldberg wanted a match against him, so he'd give it to him. A crown jewel under one condition: it's no holds barred. And fucking Goldberg goes, no holds barred? I like that. That means I can kill you. Nothing's gonna hold me back from breaking your neck. Gives me a license to kill. Lashley then said, you know what, Bill? How would you react if what happened to me happened to you? Someone just randomly jumps on your back without any warning. And also, before that line, Goldberg told Lashley, you're next, and you're dead. Anyways, so we asked Lashley, or Goldberg, what would you do if someone just jumped you from behind, jumped on your back, and boom, in comes Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, and Goldberg just throws them off of him. Kevin Patrick then interviewed Seth Rollins in the back, and he said, guess who's back? Back again. Sethy's back. Tell a friend. Sethy's back. Sethy's back. Sethy's back. Sethy's back. I'm like, oh my God. If this show wasn't getting any worse, this was just annoying as shit. So he said that he was back. First time he's been on Raw in a year, and well, now he's even better than before. Packers was about to remind him that a certain someone, that someone being Edge, has also been drafted to Monday Night Raw, but Rollins cut him off and said, we ain't talking about that. Rollins didn't want to hear it and said that he would take care of that on SmackDown. Tonight, time to party. Next up, we had a 2-minute and 20-second match. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods against, I guess, the Hurt Business. Like, they haven't officially said that they're back in the Hurt Business, but they've been doing stuff with Bobby. They weren't Hurt Business gear. So I guess they are Hurt Business. Oh, I didn't think about this. Someone just messaged me and said, why was Elias undrafted? That's an interesting one. We haven't seen Elias in a while. Elias killed himself. Remember, he said Elias is dead. They did like 4 vignettes of Elias is dead and then nothing. Nothing. So going forward, yeah, like I said, the New Day against the Hurt Business. The nothing 2-minute match. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Like most of the matches tonight, it's not even anything to recap. Woods picked up the win quickly with the pinfall on Alexander after hitting a springboard elbow. Woods then yelled, crown me! Because he wants to win the King of the Ring. Street Profits entered after the match. Dawkins wanted to know how New Day escaped The Undertaker, but Ford didn't want any spoilers. Ford said that they were back on Raw, and they wanted the smoke. They offered Kingston a drink, and he was happy to take it. We then got a little video about Finn Balor, making sure we knew that the Demon was coming with him to Raw. Randy Orton and Riddle would enter after the commercial break. Orton called out Omos because, well, still hasn't gotten an answer. Orton wondered if Omos was Styles' personal colossus or just a big bitch. Styles and Omos would enter. He called Orton insignificant and said Riddle didn't even have enough brain cells left to help Orton retain the tag titles. Styles was happy they were all staying on Monday Night Raw, so he and Omos could win the tag titles and brag about it to them every single week. Omos was about to answer Orton's challenge, but Orton decked Styles while Omos chucked Riddle aside. Omos and Orton stared at each other until Orton laid out Styles with an RKO. The announcers claimed that this is Orton's plan all along. Nothing happened with Orton and Omos. Got an NXT commercial, and then the final round of the draft on television. WWE would announce that round 6, Monday Night Raw is taking Carmella. SmackDown, calling up from NXT, Ridge Holland. Raw will be taking none other than Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson. Then SmackDown takes Sami Zayn, cool, whatever. They cut to the Steveson household. This is so, like, what the fuck? So you got his parents sitting on the couch. He's sitting in a chair. There's just, like, I guess he set up his phone, like, on a tripod. Kind of like at a looking up position, kind of. And it's like someone said, 1, 2, 3, go. And they all stand up at the same time, and they go, yeah! And they, like, hug. And then they kind of just look around like, you've been drafted. You've been drafted. What the fuck is this supposed to be? The NFL draft? The NBA draft? Where sometimes people are at home and they've got cameras on them and then they all cheer, oh, yeah, my boy's been drafted. They didn't even look over enthusiastic. They were just kind of just like, oh, yeah, you've been drafted. hug, we're done. All right, upload, Dropbox, there's your video. Like, fuck. But yeah, this was like one of those, NBA, NFL draft things that they kind of do with the families and whatnot when sometimes you can't travel in. They ran down Gable Stevenson's accolades and called him a total game changer. Byron Saxton called him Stevenson, and Graves berated him for it. Kudos, Corey Graves. But must I correct old Corey Graves? So they showed country music singer Hardy in the front row. They're in Nashville. And fucking Corey Graves goes, "Oh, that's country music singer Hardy. He's up for many ACMA awards. He's been nominated for many ACMA awards." And I go, what the fuck are the ACMAs? In April, they do the ACM Awards, the Academy of Country Music. And in November, they do the CMA Awards, the Country Music Academy. So, which one is it? The CMAs, because the CMAs are coming up in November. They already announced the nominees. Corey Graves, get shit together. You can't berate fucking Byron Saxton for getting a name wrong when you do the same thing on the same fucking show earlier in the day. Just because he said Stevenson instead of Steveson, shut the fuck up, Corey Graves, because you called the CMA Awards the ACMAs. And for anybody wondering, yes, I did directly tweet at him. I said, "Hey, Corey Graves, what are the I'm going to tell you exactly what I tweeted at him. I wonder if I don't think he responded, though. Probably wouldn't respond to little old me. Corey Graves, I sent out a tweet stating, where was it? I said, "Hey, at WWE Graves, ACMA awards are not a thing. The CMA awards in November is a thing, though." Also, I thought it was a funny line when, this is more Corey Graves berating Baron Saxton, when they announced the Alexa Bliss draft to Raw. Saxton goes, "We haven't seen Alexa Bliss in some time." And fucking Corey just goes, "It's been a week, Saxton." I thought that was kind of funny. But we move on to our main event. Out comes Charlotte Flair. Out comes Bianca Belair. And before the match starts, bada bing, bada boom, out comes Becky Lynch. Daniel says, the Country Music Awards. Well, there's technically three Country Music Awards every year. There's the Academy of Country Music Awards in April. There's the Country Music Association Awards. I got it wrong earlier. There's Country Music Association Awards that run in November. And then in the summertime, CMT does their awards, but they're not like big time awards. They're more for like the music video stuff. Trust me, all I listen to is country music. You think I don't know this shit? Don't get country music stuff wrong. I'll come correct you right up the bat. But great main event. And like I said when we kicked this off, a lot of times I'll go, man, they had a great match with a shitty finish. But even though we got a DQ finisher after a 13-minute match, I don't think it was quite that shitty. And I'll tell you why when we get to it. So they were having a pretty even match until Charlotte Flair sent Belair over the barricade. Sent us to our first break about 2 minutes in or so. Belair fought back and hit an effortless delayed vertical suplex. She held Charlotte up there for a while. She tried a handspring moonsault, but Charlotte got her knees up. Charlotte showed off her own power by hoisting her up into a powerbomb, followed by a schoolboy. Charlotte tried grabbing the braid. Belair clocked her with a forearm. Charlotte escaped a KOD attempt and hit a spear, a hard-looking spear, for a near fall. Belair slammed Charlotte and went to the top rope. Charlotte knocked her down. She then hit the Andrade-inspired moonsault, backflip off the top rope into a standing moonsault. Belair reversed a figure four into a small package for a 2. Belair then hit the KOD and go for the pin, but before she can get that pin, Becky would pull her out of the ring and throw her into the ring steps, causing the disqualification. Becky would then grab Belair and give her an exploder suplex into the barricade. Becky jumped in the ring and was attacked from behind by Sasha Banks. Banks attacked Lynch and laid her out with a backstabber. Banks stood tall as the show went off the air. So, most people would go, great match, shitty finish. I'm one that says that all the time. But here's my fantasy booking, I guess you can call it. You add Charlotte Flair to this match. It's at Crown Jewel. You've already got a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title. It's Becky, Sasha, Bianca. Add Charlotte Flair. Put both titles on the line. You do the first fall for the Raw title. You do a second fall for the SmackDown title. Then separates the belts. Because right now you got the SmackDown champion going to Raw and the Raw champion going to SmackDown. Yeah, you can just bada bing, bada boom, switch the belts like they did with the tag titles last year. But I think this would be an interesting one. If you add Charlotte to the match, make it a fatal four-way, and do or don't put both belts on the line. Just a thought that I had watching the show, that I think the reason they're doing all these DQ finishes is so we don't really get to see who the best is until Crown Jewel. You add Charlotte Flair into that, and there we go. We're off running. And that was Monday Night Raw. But with that, guys, you know what I thought about Raw? Now I want to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Remember, you can let me know with Super Chat in the YouTube chat or by texting into 510-906-1341. Well, let's check the polls first. As far as the Twitch poll does go, 86% of you thought tonight's Raw was just all right, and 14% of you liked it. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 58 just changed. 58% of you liked tonight's show, 15% didn't, and 27% thought it was just all right. Now let's go check the poll. 47% of you thought Raw was just all right, 38% liked it, and 14% did not like tonight's Raw. As far as the text messages do go, person here says, do you think it would have better if they drafted the New Day together or had them stay apart? Together. Totally together. Who should Raw Women's Championship and what? Some of you people just don't know how to English your second language? They're not trying to be rude, but fuck. A dyslexic person can't read broken English. It fucks them all up. Trust me. I know. I'm dyslexic. Or says, who do you think should challenge for the U.S. title? I think Raw past 2 weeks been great, but tonight was different and weird tonight. I think maybe you could have Apollo Crews come in and challenge for the U.S. title. I think that'd be a good one. With, looking at all the draft picks, we've got Apollo Crews, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, but on Raw Talk, they teased him going for the WWE title, so I don't know. Or says, seeing that Edge, Rollins, and Finn are all on Raw now, who do you see going for the WWE Championship? Kevin Owens. They teased it, but they also teased Kevin going for the tag titles too, so I don't know. But he did say that he's won every belt but the WWE title, so maybe he needs to get that belt. He said, well, that and the Raw tag titles. Or says, who do you think is the odds-on favorite to win Queen's Crown tournament? I don't know because we don't know who's in the tournament. So I can't give you betting odds or odds-on favorite without even knowing who's in the tournament. Like the commercial shows Zelina Vega. Doubt she's in it. Versus says, now that Sheamus and Cesaro are on SmackDown, do you think... I already talked about that. Versus says, never thought we have AJ and Finn on the same roster. True. I didn't think about that. AJ and Finn on the same fucking show now for the first time. Interesting. Or says, do you think the first NXT Halloween Havoc was to counter AEW? Probably. Or says, Liv Morgan going to Raw. I was just said on Talking... No, it wasn't said on Talking Smack. Talking Smack's on Saturday mornings. It was said on Raw Talk. Actually, an hour before you sent your text message. I could see the time, and it was said an hour, not just. Don't put just in your text message if it wasn't just said. It was said an hour before you sent that text, buddy boy. Person here says, Raw was just a predictable show and a draft. Question, What happened to Dana Brooke? She looked different. What do you mean she looked different? Wasn't with Mandy. It's the first time we've seen her since they split her with Mandy. I don't know what you meant by different. Is it me, or does anyone else notice no red ropes or blue ropes on Raw and SmackDown? That hasn't been a thing forever. It's the white ropes. It's been a thing for I don't know how long. For a long time, it's just been the white ropes. So, yeah. You haven't been paying attention. But with that, guys, also, we have a super chat from Gabriel Perez. He says, what do you think about both brands after the draft? Actually, I'm going to do a big video talking about what I think could come of the draft. So I'm going to leave that to be. I don't want to give that away yet. I'm going to make a video probably coming out either tomorrow, probably Wednesday, of my predictions on what we can see based off of what changes we got in the draft. So with that, guys, I do appreciate the super chat, but I will have a full video about that coming out on Wednesday probably. So with that, have a great night, guys. I'll see you next time.